Steve Jobs revolutionized the world with Apple, but what about his daughter? Growing up in the shadow of a tech legend might seem overwhelming, but Eve has carved out a billionaire life all her own, filled with passion, grace, and surprising ventures. Let's dive into the fascinating story behind Steve Jobs' youngest daughter and discover how she's making waves beyond the Apple legacy. While many might expect Eve Jobs to follow a path straight into tech or business, she has galloped in a different direction, literally. Eve's passion for equestrian show jumping is not just a hobby, it's a defining part of her life and identity. Growing up with one of the most influential tech visionaries as a father, Eve carved out her own space in the elite world of competitive horse riding, blending discipline, grace, and fierce determination. Eve began riding horses at a young age, quickly falling in love with the sport's unique blend of athleticism and artistry. Show jumping demands not only physical skill, but also a deep bond of trust and communication between rider and horse. This connection mirrors the intuitive thinking and precision that her father Steve Jobs famously championed in technology. Her commitment to the sport is nothing short of impressive. Eve has competed in numerous national and international events, earning accolades and respect among equestrian circles. Balancing a rigorous training schedule with schoolwork and public life requires focus and resilience, qualities she's clearly inherited. What makes Eve's equestrian journey so inspiring is how it highlights her individuality. Rather than resting on her family name, she's dedicated herself to mastering a sport that challenges her physically and mentally. The discipline learned in show jumping spills over into other parts of her life, shaping her approach to challenges and opportunities. Moreover, the equestrian world brings Eve into contact with a diverse global community. Traveling for competitions, meeting fellow riders, and engaging with fans of the sport allow her to build relationships far beyond Silicon Valley's tech bubble. This broader perspective enriches her experience and adds depth to her billionaire lifestyle. Being the daughter of Steve Jobs, the visionary behind Apple, Pixar, and the digital revolution, comes with its own unique set of challenges and privileges. For Eve Jobs, growing up in the shadow of such an iconic figure meant living with extraordinary expectations, constant curiosity from the public, and a legacy that's hard to match. From a young age, Eve was aware of her father's monumental impact on technology and culture. Steve Jobs wasn't just a parent, he was a symbol of innovation, creativity, and relentless pursuit of perfection. Though he passed away when Eve was still quite young, his influence lingered strongly in the family's values and lifestyle. Despite the fame and fortune, the Jobs family emphasized humility and personal growth. Steve's children, including Eve, were raised with an understanding that their father's legacy was not just about products and wealth, but about changing the world and thinking differently. This mindset encouraged Eve to find her own passions rather than simply inheriting the family spotlight. The Apple legacy also brought exposure to some of the brightest minds in technology and design. Growing up, Eve had access to a stimulating environment filled with innovation, creativity, and visionary ideas. This undoubtedly broadened her perspective and fueled her curiosity about the world, even if she chose a different path professionally. However, the public's fascination with the Jobs family meant that Eve's life was often under the microscope. From media attention to social media speculation, she had to navigate growing up with a high-profile name attached to her identity. The challenge was to maintain a sense of normalcy and privacy despite the inevitable spotlight. Eve's parents supported her in this journey by fostering a nurturing and grounded home environment. They encouraged independence, education, and resilience, helping her handle the pressure that comes with being part of one of the most famous tech dynasties. In many ways, Eve embodies the best of both worlds, deeply connected to the Apple legacy through family and values, yet confidently pursuing her own dreams. She honors her father's memory not by mimicking his career, but by living authentically and striving for excellence in her chosen fields. Growing up as the daughter of Steve Jobs means living with a public spotlight that's almost impossible to ignore. Yet Eve Jobs has managed to strike a rare balance between enjoying her life and keeping her privacy intact, a feat that's impressive in today's age of constant social media and media frenzy. Unlike many celebrity offspring who find themselves constantly chased by paparazzi or subjected to tabloid gossip, Eve has taken a much more grounded approach. She chooses carefully what parts of her life to share, keeping most of her personal moments behind closed doors. This intentional privacy helps her maintain a sense of normalcy, allowing her to pursue her passions and friendships without overwhelming outside pressure. Social media is a key part of this strategy. While Eve is active on platforms like Instagram, she tends to post selectively, often sharing moments related to her equestrian career, travel, or fashion interests rather than her private life. Her posts come across as genuine and relatable, showing a young woman who's both confident and humble, rather than just a celebrity heiress. Eve's awareness about fame and its pitfalls comes from growing up in a family that valued humility and discretion. Steve Jobs himself was notoriously private, and those values have clearly been passed on. This grounding helps Eve focus on what matters most to her, whether it's training for a competition, attending university, or spending time with loved ones. Another aspect of her approach is surrounding herself with supportive friends and a trusted inner circle. This network provides a buffer from the constant scrutiny and offers a safe space where she can be herself. It's this foundation that allows Eve to navigate the complexities of fame without losing sight of who she is. Even with the spotlight, Eve hasn't let fame define her. Instead, she uses it as a platform to highlight her achievements and passions. By controlling her narrative and choosing when to step into the public eye, she's crafting a mature, balancing image that sets her apart from many young stars who get overwhelmed by fame. Education has always been a priority in the Jobs family, and Eve's academic journey reflects a commitment to excellence that complements her other passions. Known for being hardworking and focused, Eve has pursued her studies with the same dedication she applies to show jumping and other interests. Eve attended Harvard University, one of the most prestigious academic institutions in the world, which speaks volumes about her intellectual abilities and work ethic. Harvard's rigorous environment challenges students to think critically, engage in meaningful research, and develop leadership skills, all qualities that Eve seems to embody. Being at Harvard also exposes Eve to a diverse and vibrant community, allowing her to broaden her horizons beyond the tech and equestrian worlds. Here, she's likely developing new interests, building lifelong friendships, and gaining insights that will shape her future. What's particularly impressive is how Eve balances the demands of Ivy League academics with her competitive equestrian career. Both require discipline, time management, and resilience. Juggling classes, exams, training sessions, and competitions is no small feat, yet Eve handles it with grace, proving she's capable of thriving in multiple areas. Eve's choice of courses and extracurricular activities at Harvard will likely reflect her interest in science, technology, or even the arts, areas where creativity and innovation meet. This academic foundation positions her well for future endeavors, whether in entrepreneurship, philanthropy, or another field she chooses to explore. Eve Jobs might have been born into extraordinary privilege, but her actions show a deep awareness of the world beyond billionaire circles. Like her father, who believed in making meaningful contributions to society, Eve has developed a genuine interest in philanthropy and using her influence for good. While she's not as publicly vocal about charitable efforts and some celebrities, Eve's approach reflects quiet dedication rather than flashy publicity. Her values are clearly shaped by a family that always emphasized purpose over popularity. Steve Jobs himself often donated anonymously and taught his children to be mindful of their responsibility to the other people. Eve has carried this lesson forward in her own way. One of her early interests in giving back was seen through her support of organizations related to equine therapy, a natural fit given her love for horses. These programs use the calming and empowering presence of horses to help children with disabilities, trauma survivors, and individuals facing emotional or physical challenges. Eve's contributions here aren't just financial. She's been known to show up, participate, and truly engage with the people these programs serve. In addition, Eve has supported causes related to environmental protection and education, two areas her family deeply valued. She's expressed concerns about climate change and has shown interest in supporting sustainable farming and clean energy initiatives. Though she's not overtly political, she aligns with efforts that aim to create a better, healthier planet for future generations. As Eve grows into her own legacy, it's likely we'll see her become more involved in philanthropy, Whether through her own foundation or collaborations with other changemakers, she has both the means and the mindset to create significant impact. Another sign of her philanthropic soul is how she interacts with fans and the media. Eve often uses her platforms not just to showcase luxury or accomplishments, but to highlight kindness, support other young women, and promote mental health awareness. In a world where wealth is often flaunted, Eve's attitude feels refreshing. She seems more interested in making a difference than just making headlines. Ultimately, Eve Jobs' philanthropic spirit is still evolving, but the foundation is already strong as she continues to grow personally and professionally. Her impact on the world could become as powerful and enduring as her father's technological legacy. Eve Jobs surprised many when she stepped into the world of high fashion, and not as a spectator, but as a model on the runway. Her modeling debut took the fashion world by storm, proving once again that she's full of surprises and determined to explore life beyond the Silicon Valley bubble. In 2021, Eve made headlines when she starred in a major campaign for Glossier, a modern beauty brand known for its minimalistic and empowering style. Posing confidently with glowing skin and an effortless vibe, she instantly caught the attention of fashion insiders and fans alike. It wasn't just a celebrity moment. Eve had the natural charisma, elegance, and edge that many brands look for. From there, she made her runway debut at Paris Fashion Week, walking for luxury label Coperni. She stunned audiences with her poise, confidence, and ability to hold her own among seasoned models. What made the moment especially iconic was how Eve carried herself, calm, collected, and clearly enjoying the experience. Her move into modeling may seem unexpected, but it fits perfectly with her curious spirit and desire to push boundaries. Eve isn't afraid to try new things or enter spaces where people might not expect her. She approaches fashion with the same commitment she gives to her studies or equestrian life, by doing the work, learning the craft, and showing up with authenticity. Beyond the runway, Eve's style is a mix of luxury and laid-back cool. Her Instagram gives glimpses into her fashion sense, blending equestrian elegance with trendy city looks. She's quickly becoming a fashion icon for young women who admire both brains and beauty. Eve's fashion journey isn't just about appearances, it's also about breaking molds. In an industry still working on diversity and representation, having someone like Eve, smart, multifaceted, and independent, brings a fresh modern voice. She's not using her last name to get ahead, but is letting her presence and personality speak for themselves. Looking ahead, it's possible that Eve will continue building her fashion profile, perhaps collaborating with brands, designing her own line, or becoming a muse for luxury houses. When you're part of one of the most legendary tech dynasties in history, your living spaces are bound to reflect that legacy. And Eve Jobs' real estate life is as luxurious as it is stylish. But don't expect over-the-top, gold-plated mansions with indoor roller coasters. Eve's approach to luxury real estate is refined, modern, and quietly extravagant, much like her personality. Eve has been spotted living some truly enviable properties, including sleek apartments and estates that embody tasteful elegance. Her homes are often located in highly exclusive neighborhoods. Think Beverly Hills, Palo Alto, and New York City, where security, privacy, and prestige are all part of the package. One of the most talked about properties is a stunning contemporary home in the heart of Silicon Valley. This residence features floor-to-ceiling glass walls, smart technology integrated throughout, a serene pool area, and interiors that mix natural elements with minimalist design. It's a tech lover's dream home with an artistic soul, a perfect fit for someone who straddles the world of innovation and fashion. What's fascinating is how Eve seems to favor homes that are high-tech but not flashy. It's not about the most expensive chandelier or the gaudiest couch. It's about clean lines, smart layouts, organic textures, and lots of natural light. She seems to seek environments that reflect calm energy and quiet power, rather than loud opulence. Her homes often include space for her equestrian gear, art pieces from emerging female artists, sustainable furniture, and of course, top-tier security systems. Given her high-profile background, privacy is a non-negotiable. And Eve's homes are designed to be a serene sanctuary, beautiful, functional, and off-limits to outsiders. Luxury real estate also serves as a long-term investment strategy for many billionaires and heirs. And Eve is no exception. Whether it's building a personal real estate portfolio or working with advisors to make smart property decisions. She seems to understand that wealth isn't just for spending, it's for growing wisely. Long before she walked the Paris Fashion Week runway or graced magazine covers, Eve Jobs was already a rising star in the elite world of equestrian sports. Her passion for horseback riding isn't just a hobby, it's a full-on lifestyle, and one that has brought her global recognition and serious respect. Eve began riding horses at a very young age and quickly developed a talent for competitive show jumping. Unlike other sports, equestrianism at this level requires not only athleticism but also deep trust and synergy between rider and horse. It's physically demanding, emotionally intense, and extraordinarily expensive, which is why it's often associated with elite circles. But Eve doesn't just ride because she can afford to. She competes and wins at the highest levels, representing the United States in international tournaments. She has participated in prestigious events. Her dedication is clear in her daily routine. Early morning training sessions, frequent travel across continents, and rigorous discipline. Whether she's in Wellington, Florida, or somewhere in Europe, Eve spends countless hours honing her techniques, building her bond with her horses, and maintaining the stamina needed to stay at the top. Of course, the financial side of equestrian sports is no joke. A single competition horse can cost hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions. Add in transportation, trainers, vet care, stabling, and staff, and you're easily looking at a 7-figure annual budget. But Eve treats it not as a vanity project, but as a serious long-term commitment. She even has her own team, Eve Jobs LLC, managing her equestrian career and representing her in global competition. Her love for horses is more than professional, it's emotional. She often shares photos with her beloved horses on social media, expressing how much they mean to her. Her deep respect for these animals and the sport shines through in everything she does. Equestrian life has also taught Eve invaluable life skills: patience, resilience, humility, and courage. It's a sport that doesn't care about your last name. It's about performance, and in that arena, Eve Jobs has proven herself time and again. Thanks for watching. If Eve Jobs' life surprised you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more insider stories. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'll see you guys in the next video.